a recipe. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the famous Plantintad. If you've never heard what a Plantintad is, it's basically an empanada filled with red plantain.
Coffee.
Don't call it empanada though, because it isn't. It's Plantintad. You're not human, you're not person, you're whatever your name is. And this thing's name is Plantintad. I'm really proud of it actually. This isn't it. So, let's get into it.
We're going to start off with peeling the plantains. You need to make sure that they're really ripe, and usually when they have certain dark spots outside, that means that they're really ripe. So once you peel them, you're going to chop them into medium-sized blocks, place them in a pot and fill that pot with water. You need to make sure that it's a pot bigger than the one in this video because it's going to start boiling and the water is going to start falling out. Once the water is boiling, leave them in there with the water boiling for like 10 minutes, and then you're gonna drain them and then make sure that they're incredibly soft, like super soft. Then you transfer them to another bowl and then you start mashing them up. And then once they're completely mashed, you're gonna start seasoning them. First off, we're gonna throw in the sugar. Let's mix all that up. Then we're going to go ahead and add the cinnamon, the nutmeg, we're going to keep mixing it. We're going to go ahead and add the vanilla. Keep mixing it. And then lastly, we're going to add the red food coloring. Obviously, if you're smarter than me, you're just gonna add all this and then mix it towards the end. But hey, you live and you learn, right? Next, we're gonna go with the dough. You're gonna go ahead and place your flour. Remember to filter it through a sieve. Add the salt, the lard, and part of the water. And then you're gonna start mixing it with a spoon. And after a while, after mixing it with the spoon, it's gonna get hard to mix because of course we're trying to make a dough. So when it starts getting hard to mix with a spoon, give up with the spoon and then go full ham on it. And I do mean with your hands. You're gonna start mixing it all together. Make sure you separate the lard with your fingers, like in between your fingers. Make sure you mix it thoroughly with your fingers with the flour, and then we're gonna transfer it over to a clean surface and start knitting. This is the hard part, and it's not hard, it just takes a while because you have to knead a lot because it's not that many ingredients. So you're just gonna keep knitting until you get a firm consistency. Once you get it, we are gonna then start ensembling our Plantintad. So in order to do that, we need to first lay down the dough, and then we're going to roll it out with a rolling pin. Try to make sure that it's thin enough but not too thick because then it won't cook properly in the middle of the dough. So then once it's laid out in the desired thickness or thinness, use the border of a cup or a bowl to cut out circular shapes. Make sure they're not too small. Then once you've cut them out, we're going to go ahead and fill in the middle with a spoonful of the mixture. Don't overfill it because then they won't close properly and they will literally explode. In order to make the shape of a Plantintad, you fold one half to the other half and then you press your fingers in the middle so that it'll stick. And then in order to make the little fancy thingies, all you do is get the edges of a fork and you press it down. That'll give it the little stripes it has. And then to give it the peaks, all you do is get a scissor and then snip 3 times at the top surface. Obviously, make sure you clean the scissor before you cut these. Once you're done, we're going to go ahead and bake them in 175 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes. Make sure they don't stay more than 30 minutes because then, other than browning, they're going to burn. And then that's it. One way you can tell when you're done is you can open the stove and you can grab like a knife or fork and you can scrape the borders, and if they're crunchy, then that means that they're done.
So did you like it? I hope you did. This, personally, is my favorite dessert from the entire country. Like, hands down. If I had to choose one food to live by, it would be that. Like, hands down. Would not think about it. No. That. It's delicious, it's sweet, and then to top it all off, I had a sweet tooth, so yeah, that was gonna happen no matter what. So what did you think? Comment below if you've been here, and if you have, let me know if you have eaten it, and if you haven't and you're here, what are you waiting for? If you're here right now and you're in Isla Colón, you could probably find it easily. And it's usually paired off with something called pati, which will probably be my next recipe. Stay tuned. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and share. You got friends who like cooking? Share. This just so happens to be a vegan recipe, so let's all be friendly. Share. So yeah, my name's Teshii. It is my coffee. It's my breakfast, actually. I hope you like the recipe. Later, dudes. I totally forgot to mention that the amount of like all the ingredients you'll need are gonna be in the comment section below. Can you tell I'm a noob? But also apart from that, I'm gonna have the entire recipe and all the instructions and all the notes and do's and don'ts are gonna be in a recipe in my blog. A link to that is also gonna be down below. Don't forget to check it out. I'm doing something really cool here in my home country, and basically my hometown, which is Bocas del Toro. So it would really mean a lot to me, and I would really appreciate it if you could also check out my blog. It's a work in process, bear with me. We're doing all the things we have to do to get it better. Problem is that we have a lot of things to do, so we dedicate a second to this, 10 seconds to that, an hour to that. If you recreate this recipe, tag me, let me know. My Instagram is also Teshii from Bocas. All that info is like down there. I think that's it. If not, I'll insert something else. So, my forehead is shining.